Can voices for change, and beautiful voices, beautiful message, even for the politicians. Yeah, it's a change we are seeking. Yeah, I know you are amazed that they're actually students from high school, and but the message is so clear.
It's very clear, and especially for peace. Yeah, that was very nice.
Okay. Time now for us to wrap up our news review this morning, but we cannot do that without looking at the biggest headline today. Of course, the biggest talking point this entire week has been to do with this controversy, this row between NASA and Jubilee with regard to IEBC's procurement of the ballot papers. 52 days to the elections, we are wrangling about who should print and who should not print the ballot papers for the elections. Now, it has developed to a point where now Jubilee is claiming that NASA is doing all this because they are looking for a Nusumkati government. Senator, is that exactly what you're looking for?
I don't think that is the case. I believe, and many Kenyans believe, that when Baba, that's my party leader, I'm so passionate about him, when he utters anything, there must be truths behind it. And therefore, for him to say, to speak that there's something amiss, he must have looked into it, and he has evidence leading to it. And I know very soon it will come out so clearly. And we have had controversy before about this tender. The tender was cancelled, and it was still given to the same person. And that raises a lot of questions. And we are not interested in Nusumkate. I'm very certain and very sure that NASA is going to take government come 8th of August. The people who are panicking are the Jubilee party.
Okay.
They are in panic, and they are very sure that they are losing these elections.
So you're not
That's why they want to say anything.
You're not looking for a Nusumkati government, but in all this back and forth, there has also been allegations of people seeking kickbacks, and that's why they're not happy with this tender being awarded to a certain company. They would have preferred a different one, which had promised kickback. What do you say to that?
Those are just utterances that can come from some people known on the front page. I've seen the Duale remarks, and those sentiments can only come from such people, such caliber of people. Yeah, that is it.
But now, Tito, what do you say?
But just before I come to that, there is something that I like raising, and especially now that I'm on Citizen TV, about the governors. You know, in Parliament we have majority leader because of numbers. The ones they call tyranny of numbers, but also in the governors council, we've seen Isaac Ruto becoming the chairman of governors. After him now is Munya. Why do they give that position to Jubilee government? It is very wrong, and that is why the governors have always gone wrong. Because the chairman, they have the numbers. I think they are the 24 when we are 23. Well, so give it to the right people, so that what has failed, even for them to connect to the senators, is because Isaac Ruto was in Jubilee, and now Munya is in Jubilee. Why didn't we have somebody else?
Right now it's Governor Nanok from
But coming now to IEBC, remember we did very well, because out of the constitution, they went and agreed both sides that we are going to give a few members from each side. They go and sit down and come up with now what now they are saying is wrong. Remember, these are independent bodies. In fact, they are not supposed to sit with anybody, because in the constitution IBC is independent. But because both sides want peace in this country, that is why they are sitting down and negotiating. But now there is no time to negotiate, because the constitution says on 8th of August we must go for election. But now if you talk about this is not right, I think that the papers didn't go well. Where is both the committees, both in Senate and National Assembly? They are the people who are supposed to oversight this, not the president or Baba, your friend. Not them. They are not supposed to be anywhere there. And because this is an independent body, this should the parliament is supposed to call them, oversight, and make decisions. And everybody sits there, either from opposition or national government, and the committees are there. When you read what has happened, the money devolved in the counties, That is not the whole parliament that devolved. That is the committee. But when the committee does that, we'll all agree. And she'll agree with me even in the committees in Senate. When they pass something and the whole parliament sees this is okay, they don't call it. They debate it again in the whole committee. So whoever are failing are the committees, because they would have called them. But now, you know, we are heading to elections. And nobody wants to see bloodshed in this country. And we have to go to elections. What we need to do is not talk too much, but take this thing to the right people. Even the courts today are invented. If they think this is wrong, let's go to the courts and talk about, and they have the best lawyers. I had said it.
Yes.
And let's use our lawyers and go to court and say, this we don't think is right. Let the court rule. Yes. But when we start going around telling our people, we are inciting people.
Yes. Bonairun Kangata, some of the other presidential candidates, apart from Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, have actually come out and said that IEBC is wrong in actually listening to either of the two with regard to this issue. That they are actually meddling and they should probably be punished for that, because it is 52 days to the elections. Why are we listening to either Jubilee or NASA this time? We should just focus on campaigns and move on to the elections. Do you think that this kind of claim is simple meddling?
Well, to me that's a good point, but then you cannot accuse the Jubilee, because Jubilee is merely responding to serious allegations made against Jubilee and the Jubilee leadership. So therefore you cannot really blame Jubilee for commenting in reply to serious allegations raised by NASA. But for me to comment on your first issue that we raised to our senator as to whether is Mr. Raila Odinga planning for Nusu Mkate, is very clear. You see, a politician cannot tell you his intention. You have to read his intention based on a series of actions. So, and the first action that Raila did that clearly showed he wants Nusu Mkate was, number one, he pushed the other commission to be kicked out, which was only a few months to the elections. He knew very well the new commission will be somehow struggle to get prepared for the new elections. So that shows he has some hidden card. Number two, when this new commission came in, chairman in fact was an ODM member. So meaning, in actual sense, he's the one who won. As to then, for him to start now fighting that IBC, which he fought so much for it to come into power, which by the way is chaired by a person who was a former member of ODM, and we Jubilee people, we are not even raising an issue. It shows that indeed it was a trap that he was setting up against. So
he's looking for coalition government.
Yes, because otherwise I wouldn't see why every time IBC makes this tender, he goes to court. For instance, there was this auditing process. He took that matter to court. Now he's talking about the tendering of the ballots. Every time that IBC makes, he must challenge it and say it's not bona fide. So therefore, the only conclusion one can make is that he is not ready for these elections. Number two, he knows in his heart of heart he is not going to win. And by the way, that is vindicated by seeing his core principles vying for other positions instead of waiting for them to win and form government. There's no way Senator Wetangula could be vying again to be re-elected to become a senator of this country. He knew for sure that he is going to win and become a CS.
Well, so the point what I will do now, I'll give each one of you about 30-40 seconds each to make your final remarks. Well, let's start with you.
Of course, I also wanted to comment on what is happening in our country, because we want peace in our country. But when they talk about Nusu Mkate, I always deny that, because when they talk about Nusu Mkate, and now they are in government, you know, the president by then was a deputy prime minister who was working under Raila, so they were all together in that system. So when they talk about Nusu Mkate, I don't see it. But coming now to elections, we want peaceful elections in this country. And I've seen it, and I know it, because I've been in the Kenyatta government a long time, and I've worked for the Kenyatta family. If these people who are good friends is Raila, Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, they are very good friends, because Raila has brought up Uhuru, and I know because I've been with them 30 years. What we don't want to see is fighting for power. Let the power come when it's necessary and you have won. Otherwise, the sycophants on the sides are the people who are now creating this. But we want to see a peaceful country where, especially in Juja and other places around Nairobi, where cosmopolitan is always there. I've told you my aunt is married to a lawyer, but when we come now to fight about positions, it will be very wrong for Kenya again to shed blood. So I'll pray and ask all the Christians in this country. Remember, there is a time you left us, the Christians and the Muslims, the people of God. There is a time they left us and we found our country into trouble. Last elections, all the Muslims and Christians were together praying for this country. That is what we require.
They should do it again. Thank you so much, Brother Francis Waitito. Senator Lee.
As NASA, today we stand at 11 million strong. And we are gaining support, and the NASA coalition is gaining popularity, is because of the 9 pillars we stand for, what we want to do for this country. And Kenyans all over the country have realized and seen that the Jubilee government has failed. And we are very certain that as NASA coalition we are going to take government. And the other day we just saw the president Uhuru say he's ready to accept the results as they are. That means his people and they have told him that really things are not right on his side. And I just want to encourage all Kenyans that come August, let's accept results as they will be. I'm very certain, I'm very sure that we are going to form government as NASA and Raila as our president because of what we stand for and because of what we have seen as a country.
Thank you, Senator. Finally, Bonerung Kangata, 40 seconds.
One, I don't see Raila Odinga winning this election, but I'm fearful. Why is it that he is saying that he's not going to challenge the result in court? Why is it that he is telling his supporters to just vote and go home and leave the rest to him? It means if he loses, he will do something.
Are you not insinuating something that he has not declared?
No. There is no way you can tell your supporters that you're not going to challenge the result in court if you are dissatisfied, unless you have something you are planning, of course. So I'm fearful, by the way. Number 2, all indications are that he's going to lose. There is no way, I can't see a pathway for Raila to win this election. First, he's ill-prepared. 2, you cannot even hear that buzz. You see, you can tell when you're winning based on what we call a political buzz. There's no a political buzz in favor of Raila Odinga, as compared, by the way, to 2007, where you could hear somehow a buzz in favor of ODM then. But for now, they look a weakened opposition. But maybe let me take this opportunity to tell the people of Muranga that we are still mobilizing people to vote and ensure they vote for Jubilee Party, in particular the president. And this Sunday we shall be in a place called Kandara to mobilize people to vote. So I urge people to come out in large numbers in our so-called Muhiri, as we tell the people to come and register, to turn out in large numbers and support President Uhuru Kenyatta in Kandara this Sunday.
Thank you so much, Bonerung Kangata, Member of Parliament for Kiharu constituency, seeking the Senate seat of Murang'a County on a Jubilee Party ticket. Senator Daisy Nyongesa, who's seeking other political, pursuing other political ambitions for this time, and Francis Waitito, Member of Parliament for Juja, who is seeking to defend that seat on a Jubilee Party ticket.
People of Juja for the nomination. That came out very well.
Yes. Thank you so much for helping us look at the headlines this morning. Well, that has been our news review. Power Breakfast still continues. Deal with it. The regular Friday segment is on still today, despite Joey Anderson Mudengi not being in. Willis Waburu will be taking over that discussion. Today they're discussing husband material. What exactly is that? You don't want to miss that. Also, you continue to enjoy music from Aga Khan, Voices for Change. Beautiful voices. You better stand by for more of that. From me and my panelists, it's good morning.